So I wanted to talk to you guys today about mold illness, me as a practitioner and as a patient, because I actually came to Neomed mainly because of toxic mold that made me really sick. So there's a bit of, I think, confusion about mold allergy versus mold illness. So mold allergy is what is mainly known by doctors, where you're allergic to mold, just like you'd be allergic to certain foods or have a peanut allergy or something like that. Mold illness is something completely different. It's actually an illness that can look very different in everyone's body. Some people, it's chronic pain. Some people, it's anxiety, it's chronic fatigue is probably the main thing that I see in my own patients and with myself. For myself, it started off very slow. I was living in a house that we didn't know at the time had mold in it. And I just kept getting more and more and more tired. I started to get a lot of brain fog. I was getting joint pain. I was starting to have hormonal imbalances. My menstrual cycle was out of balance. And I couldn't figure out what was going on with me. And it wasn't until we started to do some investigations into our environment. It wasn't anything I was eating. It wasn't anything that I was doing. It was actually the environment that I was living in that had mold in it that was really, really making me sick. So just some things to have a look out for in your environment if you suspect that it might be something in your environment that's making you potentially really chronically fatigued or sick, is if you have a house and you walk in and you can smell that it doesn't smell fresh all the time. It's got some sort of a musty smell. There's probably a likelihood of some sort of hidden mold. It could be underneath the floor. It can be in the wall cavities. It can be in the roof. If you can see any water damage, so if you have a look at a wall and it's got some sort of water staining, there's probably mold behind that. And of course, if you can explicitly see black mold on the wall, then absolutely that could be something that's making you sick. So what happens when there's mold in the environment? There's two things that could potentially make you really sick. There's the mold spores, which most people are really aware of, but there's also these chemicals called VOCs, which are types of volatile organic compounds that can actually, even if the mold is on the other side of the wall, the chemicals can come through the wall, and breathing in those chemicals can actually make your body really toxic. So in my case, it was the VOCs. They were completely invisible. I couldn't see any mold, but I was breathing in the toxins. So the reason that I wanted to come to Neomed is those toxins that were in my body, it actually caused my hormones to change. It caused my blood to become a lot thicker. So I had a lot of clotting in my blood. So the special ozone treatment that they do here to be able to cleanse the blood of all the toxins and the clots was really, really an important part of my treatment. I also have found that, of course, you can do a lot of the detoxing at home, and in your respective countries, you can do some enemas and some saunas and things like that to help. But I really think that doing a really intensive detox, at least initially, to get a lot of those toxins out can really speed up the healing process. If you suspect that there might be some sort of mold in your house, but you're not sure, you can't see it, you don't know where it is, there are certain professionals, so mold inspectors or building biologists, depending on which country you're living in, they're called different names. They can actually come into your home and they can do an inspection. So they will do a visual inspection first to see if they can see any visual mold. If there's nothing that's visual, they'll actually start to take samples. So they'll take an air sample and they'll also swab around the home and then send that to a lab and see if any types of mold come up. And then once they've done that, you actually get a report that tells you the different types of molds that were found in your environments, the levels, because it is actually natural to have a slight bit of mold in our environment, but they do measurements, and anything under 1,000 is considered normal. Anything more than that, and it's quite likely for sensitive people to develop some sort of mold toxicity issue, because it's actually 1 in 4 people have a genetic predisposition to getting some sort of mold illness, because we're not able to clear mold toxins out of our body body naturally via the liver due to this change in our genes. A couple of things that are really easy for you to do at home if you do have mold illness is, number one, I would start with doing some sort of enemas, making sure that you're clearing your liver, clearing your bowels. If you're not moving your bowels every day that fecal matter is sitting there, you're actually reabsorbing those mold toxins. So making sure that you're eating lots of fiber, drinking lots of water, potentially having a look at coffee or water enemas at home would be really helpful. Work with a practitioner though. I must say you must work with either an integrative doctor or a naturopath who knows about mold illness and can help you really get back on track, because you do need detoxification, you need binding, you need liver support. But I really strongly recommend that you come and do some sort of an intensive, if you have the capacity, do an intensive detox, get these toxins out of your body so that you can get back to normal again quicker than doing it by yourself. So I strongly advise that you see a practitioner, either a naturopath or an integrative doctor that you can work with, who will be able to guide you through, because if you do have mold illness, not mold allergy, but mold illness, you really need support. You need supplements that are going to help you to detoxify your whole body. You need certain binders that are going to bind to the mold toxins. But I really strongly advise that you do come and seek some sort of an intensive detoxification protocol like what Neomed can do, because the quicker that you get those toxins out of the body, the better, the less long-term effects that you're going to have, and the quicker that you're going to be feeling yourself again.